Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another dual commentary with Chumpesque here, and we were going to do Hasu versus Dolorian for the ESL finals, but the sons of bitches didn't upload the maps for us, and it took us like 20 years to give up, and then then we decided to do this game on a 1.22 patch, and here's to Chumpesque from UK.
Yes, we are nothing if not tireless, that's for sure. But looks like we're going to be doing a game between Elfittaja, who is the Undead, and I don't know who this other. Do you know who this redouane? Actually, I think I do know who redouane is. I don't think I've seen too many of his games. I think I've seen at least a couple before, and he will be the orc. And actually, we're doing another game on Echo Isles, so certainly that's our map du jour.
Yeah, I think the smaller map it is, as a more orc favorite it is in the orc versus undead. just because the Blade Master can show up your base in no time.
Yeah, certainly that's a pretty nice thing. Obviously, also it means that the Blade Master can find you so much more easily. So it's so hard to do some subtle creeping or something like that. I mean, there's a
I'm sorry. You can finish with
no, go ahead.
Have you seen any of my undead base blocking videos?
No, I haven't.
And I explained the videos. Echo Isles is the worst map to base block your base away from any heroes, because you need 3 ziggurats and other buildings to block your base completely sealed from other heroes. Where other maps you can do 2 ziggurats and 2 other buildings to block your base. That's why Echo Isles is really in Orc versus Undead is really Orc favored.
Yeah, Echo Isles is a bit of a bit annoying for that, but at the same time, as you can see, Elfittaja will probably has a nice block off at the moment. He'll need a bit more to finish it off, and certainly needs to be careful where he is. It's more lumber, but certainly it's. I don't think it would actually change the matchup too hugely. I reckon we're probably not going to see much actual harassment of the acolytes here in this game. But certainly we might. I haven't seen this game, so who knows how it's going to play out. But it looks like actually Elfittaja running straight in to try and steal that first creep.
And nice creep jack. You see that?
Yeah, very nice.
And the Blade Master's going to run. I think Blade Master picked critical. Oh no, he didn't. He picked Windwalk first. I didn't see any critical strikes during that creeping. Did you?
No, I didn't either. But I was paying most attention just to the base itself, or the bases themselves. But I assume he's picked Windwalk first. It'd be a bit crazy to not. I mean, it's fine for something like Terran Stand to pick critical strike first, but on a map like this where you're not guaranteed an instant level 2, it's pretty insane to not go for that Windwalk first.
That was a fast tier 2 from the Undead. I think that was upgraded before the second Ziggurat was down. So we're going to see some timing attack from the Undead. With 3 ghouls on lumber, we're going to see probably not a Banshee's build, because Banshee build you need 4 ghouls on lumber. We're maybe going to see some timing build, say 2 destroyer push, or I don't know how familiar with Undead versus Orc strategy build you are.
Yeah, I think it's quite likely. I think that's a good call that we're probably going to see destroyers in this game. Obviously with fiends thrown in as well. I think it's not too uncommon on Echo Isles. Obviously that destroyer pressure can be pretty nice, because you can just come straight into your opponent's base really quickly with a whole bunch of destroyers trying to take out some burrows. Yeah, there's certainly a whole bunch of possibilities. It looks like actually this Blade Master's going to hit level 2, and actually does have some very nice items to his name already. Some pretty nice creeping here from the orc.
Yeah, I know. 2 Gods of Haste on the Blade Master. That's like a if I see 2 Gods of Haste on the Blade Master as Undead, I would get in a Dreadlord at some point in time, just so I can put him to sleep.
Yeah, certainly Dreadlord's a fun thing to use against that Blade Master, because you can just really disrupt their micro patterns by constantly forcing them to wake up their own units and stuff. And actually some pretty nice creep jacking here. Level 2 on that Death Knight now. That's really, really nice for him, because that aura is just so useful to have. And you can see meanwhile Elfittaja has actually been creeping with 2 fiends and a spare acolyte he's at as well. Some pretty interesting guys.
That's pretty funny. I didn't catch that, but you just said it. That was pretty funny right there. Oh, the grunt almost got killed.
going to go down to these skeletons probably, unless there's some sort of epic denial here. Ooh, salve going off there might just save this grunt if the Death Knight can't get to him in time. Going to use a whole coil, actually, really interesting there. Considering he does have the aura, he could probably have gotten to it anyways. But I guess he just didn't want to take any more damage on his Death Knight, which is running pretty low on hit points now. And meanwhile, tier 3 tech already starting for Elfittaja.
And Orc is getting early expansion. What do you think about that?
Really, really ambitious here. Obviously, what has happened is the Orc has seen that there's been no fiends coming into the battle. He presumably knows that there's some around, but he's seen that there aren't enough to actually bring them into this battle. So he knows that he's not going to be getting too much pressure. And by the time Elfie does have a decent army, he'll have his expansion up and running, and he's probably hoping they'll just be able to hold off the push then. But certainly, fast expansions, or expansion at tier 2 basically versus Undead, isn't too uncommon these days.
I really think that in a small map like this, the Undead can just send out skeleton to scout you, and and if you get an expansion, if you get scouted by a skeleton, that's like GG right there.
Yeah, but the problem I think is just that Elfie doesn't really have enough to deal with it. Even if he did scout it now, what could he do? Bring in 4 fiends and a low Death Knight? I mean, he wouldn't be able to actually take the fight basically, because there is now a Shadow Hunter out, Bestiary is finishing, I mean a War Mill is going up, Grunts are still being pumped. I think it would be a really bad fight for Elfie to take at this moment, just a head-on fight. And so I think this expansion can be taken pretty safely at this point.
Yeah, that's sad that the Undead doesn't send out his skeletons to the 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, what's he going to do even if he does scout it out? I mean, he can maybe do a bit of peon harassment, but I don't think he's actually going to be able to do that much. And meanwhile, some pretty standard creeping going on here for the Orc. Going to pick off this entire camp, but making special care to take out that Ogre Magi early, just so he does get the item and the experience. And that item can be so useful. Scroll of the Beast actually not too useful at all. That's an unfortunate luck there for him.
Yeah, and the Orc really needs to be careful because there's a shade around him, and the Undead is aware that there's a low HP, and Undead knows that at almost 8 minutes into the game, there's no Raider, there's no Spirit Walker, and the Grunts still have 700 HP. So there's no, you know what I mean? The Orc is behind somehow.
Yeah, you have to be suspicious that something's going on. And I reckon that Elfie's just accepted that there is an expansion going up, and he knows that if he can't take... Ooh, actually a Fiend going down. That is huge. Losing a Fiend at this stage of the game can be so critical, because you only have like 5, and now he only has 4. So that's really, really bad luck there. But I think it's... Elfie knows that there's nothing he can do about that expansion at this point. I mean, he could try and attack it, but as I say, I don't think he'd actually do well out of that fight. Instead, it'd be much better to wait until he has a whole bunch of statues out, maybe some destroyers, and then go for a push before that expansion has reached parity.
Oh man, yeah, no, and Orc just have the map for himself. He can just creep anywhere he wants to, and just sad to see the Undead doesn't scout, and Orc can just do whatever he wants. And Shadow Hunter hits level 2. But anyway, the Undead is about to have a big advantage because he's tier 3 already, and he's gonna have a small window of time to put some pressure on the Orc. What do you think?
Yeah, I very much agree with that. I think it is a very small period of time that he will have to actually sort of get a decisive advantage in this game, and hopefully he'll be able to make the most of it, because it can be fairly tricky to actually get that timing right, because obviously it is possible that we're going to be seeing some sort of tier 3 tech. Actually, it looks like a bit of a blunder here by the Orc, forgetting to build burrows, and so he's now having to build 2 at once. He's going to be stuck at 50 food, when really what he needs to do now is he needs to push into upkeep, and he just needs to be able to have the army to defend against the inevitable push which is coming, because if he can hold off that first push, and he can hold it off well, then the game is definitely his. But if Elfie does enough damage, then I think he can really blow this game wide open.
Do you see a Crypt Lord being summoned at the altar? Because most Undead will pick up a Dark Ranger.
Well, yeah, I think Dark Ranger is very common if, for example, there's a Tauren Chieftain. Because that Tauren Chieftain, when he moves into Stomp, you can tell immediately when he's doing it and where he's going. And you can get a perfectly timed silence off. But with this Shadow Hunter, it's much harder to. The Shadow Hunter is much further back in the army.